What is going on, everybody? We're back on it for, I don't know, could be the last time ever. Vagabond 326 and 327. Now, I've been asking through this whole journey, what is the status? Has there been any whispers of because I've been told the author is alive and to my knowledge doesn't have any, physical health issues that would keep him from writing. I don't know if it's a want to or not want to, lack of ideas. I don't know. I haven't looked into it. So you guys can give me that full breakdown on the author and why he chose to stop, why he hasn't returned. Has there been any whispers of returning? Just essentially what happened and what's the current update. If there's any current update. I don't know if he's given info throughout the years. How long has it been? But we're here 300 plus chapters deep. We'll crank out these two chapters. A couple of you left a couple questions. I posted on Patreon and YouTube if you guys had any questions that you'd be interested in asking, since this might be the last time that this comes back around. Because at least with Berserk, I mean, we're not getting shit, but there seems to be a little bit of a drip of content. Even though it might be 1 to 2 to 3 chapters a year, it's at least there still seems to be an effort. Same thing with Hunter x Hunter. He might go rogue, but it looks like we've at least, we're getting chapters in October. So I don't know what the current status with this is. I'm curious if this is left off in a certain spot that feels like, oh, I mean, clearly not. It's not even close. But we'll kind of see. I've been told that there is a kind of synopsis or summary, or I don't know, a quick hey, here's a couple paragraphs of how this story would actually end. A, is it canon? It's from him? Where did that information come from? That transcript come from? And B, is it worth reading, or should we hold out hope? People thought Hunter x Hunter would never come back, and it did over the last couple of years. Berserk has even trickled, so maybe. Who knows? Let's just get this started and see where we get to. Let me drag this over here. Come over here and press play on this. Turn it up. All right, Vagabond for who knows the last time, but here we go. Kokura Castle, which knew both the distress and the glory of country and civil war, under an unwavering loyalty, it shines black. Oh yeah, and they've got to try to get this man's... I really would like there to be a consistent way to communicate with him. But Kojiro also has to make that effort as well, So Madahachi's here too. Such fine things to say, honestly. I think the God of the Christians is really awful. Oh yeah, he ran into that priest talking about essentially everyone's going to hell. You're that man? If that God called Deuce made everything in this world on his own, and people can only believe in that and not in Buddha, the people of Japan in the past, to begin with, because they didn't know, does that mean... Yeah, exactly. It's yeah, I'm not going to get into a whole religion breakdown here, but yeah, it's if we never knew that we were supposed to be praying to that, and generations and generations and generations have already died not knowing, but now the new generations know this is what you're supposed to be praying to, does that mean that everybody prior is just going to rot in hell for... I don't know. Would it mean everyone has been suffering in hell till now? Yeah, nonsense. I don't buy it. You shouldn't let it bother you. I'm sorry for your husband and child. Yeah, I mean, how do you even... Do you have any family? Not married, and I don't have any kids. I had a mother, but she passed away 5 years ago. That's been 5 years. Really? I'm trying to line it up time. How long was he there at the farm for? 2? 1.5? And then Damn, I don't know why that seemed like it was all going on at the same time. 5 years already, huh? I don't know my father's face. The art and the style has completely changed these last like 3 chapters, in my opinion. Have I lost all my family without realizing it? Take good care of your father. Farewell. My name is Taki. What's yours? Oh, so no, didn't I vow to stop? I was about to say, why was that his first instinct to just... There was no reason... Oh, he was going to say Sasaki Kojiro. Because he was so used to telling people that. I thought he was saying a completely third identity there. Matahachi? Sasaki Matahachi? Why? You aren't from Kokoro, right? He's introducing himself as a samurai. I'm a samurai from Sakusha. I mean a country samurai. Half warrior, half farmer. I'm looking for a cheap place to stay. Could you tell me if there's a temple nearby where I could spend the night? Why don't you come to our home? Yes, it's small, but we'll be fine with just one more person. Well, are they setting this for him and this woman to like get together or what? Seems like an easy layup. We're all in the same we're all the same in time of trouble. Now come, thank you. She doesn't have a husband or her kid. Yeah. All right, Kojiro, you are the student. I'm the teacher. I'm the master. You are the disciple. Hopefully the girl can somehow be the medium between them and actually teach him. Look, Kojiro, to be a samurai, first is etiquette. I know full well how strong you are, but no matter how strong you are, if you are no good in this, you cannot live in a samurai society, alright? Don't pick your nose. Sit. I'm not done yet. Alright, we're gonna need a softer approach here from the girl. Reading and writing. It seems you can somehow manage the simple syllables, but if someone like a samurai cannot read and write, he cannot learn from the books of the past. I would love for him to be able to communicate with anybody. Not just like grunts and groans, and if you know him, you know, like actually flow. Because then we get to peek behind the curtain of him. I don't even know why I'm saying this. We might not ever get this for the rest of my life, so who knows. No matter how strong he may be, please transcribe daily events, as well as your thoughts, by putting them into your journal. What the hell are you doing? Yeah, it's gonna be difficult. Master Yuji, if you had orders, I'd have visited. You have some broken ribs, right? Please relax and lie down. Please, thank you. People will talk in a few days. All within the castle will know. Will know what? About the victory of the newly arrived young warrior, and of Master Suga's crushing defeat. It appears the Lord is quite fond of Kojiro. Is that so? Will you forget the humiliation of having been used as a stepping stone, bearing it within your heart, pretending not to remember? Will you forget, or will you... Don't. It'll cost you your life. It's almost like he's egging him on. 10 years have passed since that battle. It becomes so hard to live. Hey, you, wait. Yeah, this is... Won't you sit down? Girl, it's gonna be up to her. So I hope the story just like shows it. Like clearly his shit that he's doing is not gonna be. Kaidi, don't just stand there watching. Give me a hand. Katie. That's right, you couldn't hear me. Katie, write it down. I'm saying it once more, so listen. Since you have obtained status and a stipend from the Hosokawa, you have to work for the family. However, as you are now, Kojiro, that's not possible. Not possible. You need education. Hey, don't read. How were you brought up? Maybe I shouldn't say it, but it appears that your parents were too indulgent. As you are now, even if you excel with the sword, you're no different than a 6-year-old child. Correct. Eh? Is he able to comprehend? What? Come now, let us begin with reading and writing. Kojiro, I think he's a man too far removed from what is ordinary, father. His talent with the sword is outstanding. I've understood his ability is exemplary, but as a man, all the more because of his talent, you imply he cannot be controlled. Do you believe I should not have employed? Is that what you mean to say? No, I'd not go that far. A noted treasure is something you obtain playing an equivalent price? Spelling's a little off there. Do you understand? This is a letter from Sato. It says he's headed to... Oh, wow. To Kokoro together with Musashi? Oh, shit. Oh, it's happening and it's ending. Stop it, Kojiro. No writing on the wall. At this point, if he's writing it on the wall, just get it on the wall. It's true. Even a 6-year-old can write his name. Musashi. Oh. This is a message? Desiring freedom and a friend? Yeah, I mean, this man staked his whole samurai life and upbringing on him. He's not going to lose him. Well, this is it. Final chapter. And I don't know if we'll ever get another chapter. Because again, I haven't heard... Not that I haven't heard promising things about if Vagabond's continuing. Haven't heard anything. There's been no whispers, no nothing. Now, that's not to say that... What is it? It's September 5th. September 6th, tomorrow, we could get a major announcement. 50 Vagabond chapters dropping October 1st, and it goes crazy. But it's like... You'd want negative news rather than no news, you know? But, alright. 327 chapters later, here we are. Final chapter, Vagabond 327. Are you alright? You look tired. Good morning, Kojiro. Well, let us begin by yeah, we're gonna do this every day. Maybe Takezo can get this communicate. I don't know, who knows. I feel like he'd be you would need people that he wouldn't mind kind of like sitting around, and I feel like Katie is one of them. We could be another one. And I just want, and another thing that I want to see that we're not gonna get, I don't think we'll get it. I want to see him get that certificate from the old man, because I'm assuming the old man has passed by now. I don't even know if they ever showed it, but I'm assuming he has. And I'd want Kojiro to be able to connect with what that is, and then think of the old... It's a lot. Is there something? Please continue like that. We would like to watch. Oh shit, well, if this goes anything like yesterday, this is going to be real bad. Sir Kojiro's educators? We wish to see if it is right to entrust him to you or not. To see if you are competent or not. Oh my god, they're trying to see if the teachers can teach. This is the Great Lord's command. Shit. Well, we'll give it a shot. It's literally going to be up to Katie, by the way. It's literally going to be up to her. I don't have a common ground to emphasize with him on a man-to-man level. Seeing how Kojiro is, how can I guess what upbringing he had that made him what he is now? The more time I spend with him, the more I think he's a different kind of human, impossible to comprehend. He wants to do as he pleases, but what is it? He explodes when we don't realize what he wants to do. Him throwing a tantrum is like a baby denied his milk. and strife ensues when I lose my own temper, and then in battle, Kojiro is a genius, a monster. The bill? Oh, going already? You're going home early a lot of late, Sensei. I've been entrusted with an important job. The one who's always drunk? What kind of... That one who's always drunk, what kind of job would she get? I have no doubts I can do it. Being beaten with a sword. And then being charmed by him. That is why I have abandoned... I was about to say, he gave up everything for this. He needs it to work. I have abandoned it. Raising Kojiro as a Hasakawa samurai is my duty. Tomorrow I'll make him obey at all cost. Why won't he obey me? Does it mean he has no interest in a foe he has already bested and doesn't respect me? Shit, now I can't sleep. Eating with the Great Lord? Me? Lady Katie as well? And oh, shit. They're gonna go have a sit-down dinner. We're gonna see how, see how this education and how presentable he will be. And it's gonna be with the two that have been, quote-unquote, teaching him. Is it good? I've received some Amura Bay sea cucumbers. I really like them too. Oh, shit. Like, I didn't mind the way him eating, okay, but now we're pushing it. Now we're pushing it. Now we're pushing it. This wouldn't even be like, this is... What's so wild is like, you could say he acts like a kid, but he's so grown that we're doing shit that like children wouldn't even do. You get what I'm saying? I feel like he acts like a child, but he's also a grown man and has strength and knows that he's grown, and he just does. He just takes and does. Like most kids in representative stories and things like that wouldn't eat theirs in a setting of people that mean anything, and then reach over and grab somebody else's, and then reach over and grab somebody else. Like, it just wouldn't be a thing. Like, it's different than just acting like a child. He has no care in the world, he has no social awareness, no nothing. Hey, drop it. Goodness, he appears to be a monkey more than a man. Oh, fuck, did the leader just freak the fuck out? He did. Shit. And this is him speaking in all yelling, caps lock, bolded, fucking triple darked out. He appears to be a monkey more than a man. What's the meaning of this, Ogawa? Katie? Guys, we're trying. And we're gonna end here, bro. Kaio Sanjo, the retirement estate of the Lord's father. I'm Yusai, welcome, Miyamoto Musashi. And that's how it ends. Dang, and that chapter seemed like it went so quick. I've been saying the last like 10 to 15 chapters have been extremely lengthy. But that ends up being it. I kind of liked this panel here, and we didn't even get Takezo over here in this location, which is wild. That's so wild to me that like that just ended. Like it hasn't just set in. I want to know what was date 1 of when was our first Vagabond? I don't even know if I'll be able to search that. I don't even know how to search that from mobile, to be honest. Maybe this will let me search it. Yeah, I couldn't even tell you. Actually, will this let me search it? I'd have to do it from the desktop. Let's see if I can do that real quick. Because I am curious, because it's so wild that like we've been reading hundreds and hundreds of chapters, and just like that, it's gone. It's just over. Content. Let's see. Our first Vagabond. It got copyright. Holy shit, I was getting copyrighted out the ass. November 30th, 2023. So just under a year that it took us to go through that. And now it's over. Somebody had... So I've had a couple people ask, so what's next? As far as mangas go, are we going to do another poll? Are we just going to revert back to the last poll and take the last user from? I think for now, for starters, because so we'll be almost mid-September by the time this comes out, even on Patreon. This will come out on the 6th or 7th, something like that. So we'll already be like into September. That'll give us some time to like let My Hero get a little bit closer to ending, and I don't want to jump into another, 100+ chapter something manga with Hunter x Hunter coming right around the corner. Now I know, well, at least I don't remember how Hunter x Hunter was released last time. Did we get like 5 or 10 chapters? But were they all dumped at one time, or did we go chapter by chapter by chapter? I forget. I want to say that he's just gonna they're just gonna release these one at a time, so it's gonna be 10 weeks, 1 chapter a week, I think. You guys clarify that and let me know if it does end up being that way, where there's gonna be 10 chapters, but it's released week by week by week by week. I'll probably start another manga as well, because if that's gonna be the case, and we gotta wait, so I'm not gonna start till October. Then we're gonna wait. The 2 months, there's going to be December, and I won't sit there and wait till December to start a whole new story if that's how long it's going to take. So if that is the case, we will probably put up a poll again, get some suggestions, get some votes going, and see what we want to do manga-wise from there. So we're going to wait till Hunter x Hunter comes out, see how they plan to release that. I would like them to dump it on us, and we could just kind of do that in one go. I would just split. I'd do like 5, split 5, or maybe like 3. I don't know. We'll just wait to see. So that's the plan going forward with that. A couple of you have questions about the favorite moments in chapters. I don't know if I have chapters numbers off the top of my head. But of course, the 1 verse 100, him kind of like, I don't even know what to call it, but finding that moment against Inshun was pretty great. When you didn't think it could be possible, but then it was possible. His interactions with the 2 older men were always great too. Of him trying to like find out what it is and figure out what it is. What does it mean to be strong? What does it mean to be invincible? It's really upsetting that that's one thing I really, really wish. Probably my biggest like regret as far as like what the story did and didn't give us, aside from like not ending, is him getting to have a moment in front of those 2 old men alive after having done the 1 verse 100. Because I would love to see the philosophy level discussions on like how, like, kind of like Gamora talking to Thanos, like, how was it? Like, was it worth it? Like, what did it cost? Like, did you feel like you gained it? What is it like? Are you strong now? Does this mean you're stronger than I ever would? Like, what does this mean? Like, how do you feel now, Takezo? I'd love to see that kind of like back and forth of like, okay, now do you think you're invincible? And just that whole thing, but we didn't get it. We didn't get it at all. Another great moment was everybody kind of finding out that he did it, peeking in on the school or here, over here, and people finding out like what he did was pretty great. Trying to think of other great moments off the top of my head. Some of the Taquan moments weren't bad. Some of them kind of were. trying to think of some of the other. I mean, anytime we were able to get a Kojiro and Takezo interaction, the Denchichiro and their second fight. Honestly, the first one wasn't bad either. The Sajuro one as well. Some pretty. I mean, there's a lot of moments. I mean, a lot of the fights are pretty great. Because none of the fights and interactions were brushed over. You know, they were all fleshed out, given like multiple chapters to really kind of like go through fights and interactions. So I don't have any fights, I think, off the top of my head that I dislike. Now you have moments where like they were given like fodder, a little bit of screen time, a little bit of flashbacks, and then Kojiro would like two-tap them. But I wouldn't even count those as like, you know, fights or anything too crazy or worthy like that. But a lot of like the big battles that we had, the big one-on-ones, the Denchichiro, the Sajuro, the Inshun, the Chain and Sickle, the 1 vs 100, they're really like deeply fleshed out, getting insight from both sides of characters, what they're thinking and going through it. Like all those, like none of them, like all of them just checked the boxes for me. None of them were misses, in my opinion. And then one of the bigger questions is like Kojiro and Takezo, if they were to fight, how would it go? It's tough. Because I don't know the status of his leg or if it'll ever be the same, but didn't old man Matahachi make a comment that his leg was never the same? That alone, because if you think if you were telling me that they were equal physically, I would probably give it to Takezo, in my opinion. I feel like after the 1 vs 100, he just would have reached a certain mental level. But then you also get the same time as like, would he have, but we also saw him practicing and thinking about, I mean, they've both been thinking about each other. He was practicing, you know, like not looking, plucking, closing his ears, trying to figure out like what would Kojiro do in this situation. And maybe that's just because, maybe I think that just because that's the way the story has been told. Maybe if we get to see inside of what Kojiro thinks on a daily and things like that, maybe he's thinking and analyzing things the same way. But just the way it was presented, I would think Takezo would win. Now, would they both die in the process? If they both die, is there really a winner? That's up for debate. But I would, as of right now, I'd say Takezo. Now, if you're saying, well, you just have to take them as they are, I don't see how he would be able to defeat him without really sustaining damage at the same time, given the status of the leg. But who knows? Who knows? And another question is like, so the whole final drafts, I've been told by multiple people, you know, read the final drafts, like, what is it? You know, is it like we just had? Is it chapters of things? Or is it just like one long chapter with like no art work, I'm assuming? Is it just block text? This is the status of this character. This ended up happening. This how many years about blah 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 blah. Is that like what it is? You guys kind of give me a gloss over of like what the drafts are. Is it canon, and is it written directly by him? And also, has there been any? If there's been even a whisper out there in the streets, I'm down to just wait. Now, waiting could be 10, 15 years. That could be my 50s before we get anything. But give me the breakdown on like what's happening, if there's any news. What am I looking at drafts here, Wes? Is it literally just text directly from him like, hey guys, this probably isn't ever going to come around, so to just scratch that itch, guys, here's how the story would end. If I ever come back around, I'll write this out in detail chapter by chapter, but here's the plot summary. Status of characters. Thanks. Like, I don't know if that's just what we're looking at, or I've had a lot of people tell me to do it. I feel like I want to wait, but again, it just depends. Like, people thought Hunter x Hunter would never come back, and then you see it like slowly trickling. So I don't know. I don't know. You guys will kind of have to keep me updated on the status of that, or just let me know now, and then I can just make a decision, I guess. How do I think the story would play out in the end? It's almost the story is almost making it like too easy that the two of them are going to run into each other. The story has to end, or at least the fighting of it all has to end the way of the sword, with the two of them actually fighting and seriously fighting, like fighting to the death to see like what this is truly about. But I almost feel like that's too obvious, and Takezo's kind of getting to a mental point there of like, again, what does it mean to be invincible? What does it mean to be strong? And at the same time, he's also been thinking about fighting him and what he would do in this situation, what I would do in this situation, and am I strong enough, and blah, blah, blah. And then the senior disciple made a comment of like, oh, Kojiro's stronger and XYZ. So like you see it in his head of like wanting to fight him, thinking about techniques. Could I defeat him? XYZ. But I almost feel like what it'll mean to be invincible for him is to realize he just putting down the sword. He doesn't need it. He doesn't have to fight. And I feel like that's how I would see the story ending. He could get his moment, like the leg is like damn near good to go. Like he's ready to, the leg is like 95, 90%. Like he could rock, he could go, they could throw hands for days. It'll be the most epic battle. And we've even heard Older Man Matahachi, he was like, this is where the battle between the two of them, but like, what does that really mean? I think for it to come full circle, to see that raging beast we saw in the beginning, and him come all the way around with probably the greatest matchup he could ever have in his entire life, that the greatest swordsman fight of any history that they've ever had, and he doesn't even draw a sword. That's how I would think maybe that's how that would go. Or maybe in the end he's just the beast that wants to swing his sword and fight, and he has to be able to truly call himself strong and invincible. Who knows? But I go on the first side of that. And yeah, would love to see a little bit more like Otsu and him interaction, but he's got to get here first, and she's got to get here, so there's a lot that works out with that. And does the grandson of the Yagyu have any part to play in this story at all? I would assume not. I mean, I feel like once we're over here, the whole Inshun and Yagyu and anybody left pre or us coming to this island or this country or wherever this is separated, I feel like that's all left in the past. So I don't ever think we're going to actually get to see the Yagyu grandson in action at all. Or see those Yagyu guys in action again. But we might not see anybody in action because we might not get any chapters. But I think we'll go ahead and leave it there. Again, you guys keep me updated on what's the current status of the author. Has there been any interest? What is the drafts and the breakdown and all that? And I'll kind of form an opinion on that and see what we'll decide to do. But again, another one down almost a year later, 300 plus chapters, and that's it. We'll go ahead and leave it there. Appreciate it, everybody. Like, share, favorite, subscribe, and as always, hopefully not for the last time,